There will be achievements in your life. There will be things that you feel proud of, or things that you've overcome, or things that have really pushed you to your limits at times. These are so important to kind of cling onto and remember. Hello and welcome to Not Your Forever Job, the show that helps you create the career you truly want. I am Hayley Loren, an engineer and career coach, and today on the show we are talking about how to feel more confident if you are making a career change or a job change. So I'm going to start this off with a question. Do you feel at all that you are not good enough to get another job or a different type of job or make a career change? Is there any part of you that feels a lack of confidence or self-doubt that you're good enough? If you're saying, yes, Hayley, there definitely is, then you are not alone. You are definitely not alone, okay? We all feel this. We definitely all feel this. The difference, right, is that, yes, there are people who feel that, but the difference between people who go off and get the jobs and the careers that they want and people who don't is that the people who get the job are the ones who just ignore that and they move through the fear and they just ignore what's going on in their mind, right? But that is easier said than done, which is why today I want to give you 3 different methods basically to trying to get more confident and to feel a bit better about yourself, because sometimes you do need a boost. Sometimes you do need to convince yourself that you are capable and that you are worthy and good enough to move forward and make a change. So that's what we are covering here. So my first tip for you is to sit down and make a list of all your achievements. Now, if you're, somebody who's been working hard, then I know for a fact that there will be achievements in your life. There will be things that you feel proud of, or things that you've overcome, or things that have really pushed you to your limits at times. These are so important to kind of cling onto and remember, to remind yourself of what you are actually capable of. Because often when you're faced with a new challenge, you feel like you're standing on the edge, you're looking down at this massive canyon and you're like, shit, I've got to jump into that now. And that's really hard. What you need to do is create like a parachute for yourself. And that parachute is all of the achievements that you've had over the years. And as time goes on, you can add more and more and more to that until it's like you're in Up. If you've watched Up, the film, where there's all the balloons that are attached to the house and the house floats away. Love that film. So you got to think of it like that. You need that security. But if you aren't able to give yourself that security, if you can't tell yourself that you are pretty freaking awesome and you are capable and you have done all of these things before, therefore, of course, you can get a job. If you can't do that, nobody else is going to do that. Maybe your mum and your best mates and your partner, possibly, and definitely your dog. I mean, your dog loves you to bits. But ultimately, if you don't believe it, then you're still going to give off kind of like a vibe that you don't believe in yourself, right? And this is why confident people, or people who appear confident, tend to get jobs and things like that, because they're giving off that vibe. Now, I'm not saying that you need to fake it or anything like that, but what you do need to do is create like a security for yourself. So write down everything that you have achieved, no matter how small, no matter how big. Just create a list. And a really wonderful way of doing this is to get a jar and to write them on separate pieces of paper and to put them in the jar. And then whenever you feel low or whenever you feel like you can't do anything, either just look at that jar and be like, whoa, okay, there is a lot in that jar that I have accomplished. Or if you really need a boost, and then you get them out and you look at them and you just remind yourself of what you're truly, truly capable of. So that is something that can be really, really valuable. And I do that. And I definitely, before I do anything big, I basically have a battle in my mind temporarily where, there's that voice that says, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh. And then I have another voice where it's like, yeah, but remember you did that thing that was really scary. And then the other voice is like, oh yeah. Oh, but that was different, that was really different. No, it wasn't different. It was similar. It was still scary. And you're like, oh okay. Tip number 2 is to break things down into smaller chunks, right? Bite size. what tends to happen is when you think, okay, I know I want to change job or I want a career change, it can feel like this huge, huge thing. And it's like, oh my God, I'm staring at this massive mountain and it's terrifying. Sorry if that's really irritating in your earbuds. But it can be really, really scary. And the thing is that, you know, the only way that you're going to do anything is just take it one step at a time. So it's so important to kind of sit down. Yes, it looks big, but can you put it into bite-sized chunks? Can you separate things out? For example, right, instead of thinking about, oh, I need to get the job, think about, okay, well, there's the research phase, there's the doing the CV phase, there's the talking to people phase, there's a bit of networking phase, which I guess is talking to people, the same thing. There's, Googling phase, the stalking of people who might interview phase. There's so many different phases to actually getting a job. So if you basically get a notepad and you just jot down every single phase, every single step that you go through. And each week, just set yourself a target within one of those phases, right? That's it. Don't think about the end result. Focus on that phase because you're not going to get to the end result unless you do the steps before. So just do it one step at a time. That's all you need to do. Tip number 3 is to get help. You do not need to do this alone. If you are a perfectionist, a high achiever, driven, somebody who, has a particular ambition, anything like that, sometimes you can feel that you need to know everything. You need to do everything by yourself. If you can't do that, then you're a failure. But that's not true. What you need is support, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whether it's a career coach like me. It really doesn't matter, apart from obviously career coaches are trained to give you the support. But it's about finding people who can lift you up and can really help you to move forward. And the thing is that if you don't have help, you end up putting up all of these barriers. You feel like you're overwhelmed. You feel like you have to do everything yourself and have all of the answers all of the time. But being able to talk things through can really help with that clarity. And sometimes this isn't something that, a mum can offer or a sibling can offer because they're biased. And that's the issue. They think they know you and what you want. But really, inside, you're the only one that knows. It's your own gut instinct and intuition and beliefs and, what lights you up that can ever determine what you want in your own career. There's nobody else on this planet who can tell you what you want to do for your career. And sometimes you end up having these conversations and you ask people, oh, what should I do, and it's an annoying answer when somebody says, only you know. Only you know that. And then the next question is, well, how do I know that? So getting that support is so important, and investing in yourself to be able to feel confident can feel so kind of freeing. And this is something that I've done in the past. I've had coaches before, and it's so difficult to explain in words, but it is so freeing and liberating to be able to air what you're thinking and to share what you're thinking and to be heard and listened to and have the space to reflect and the space to actually think about what it is that you want, and then to be forced and to stay accountable and take tangible action to actually make it happen. So all of this is so important. So whether you get an accountability partner, whether you get a coach, whether you start a group maybe at work or something, if you know a few people who want to leave their jobs, you can all work together. And, if you are thinking that you want help and you need that support, then I'm so excited about this. And if you listen to my episode last week, which is all about kind of mistakes and when you're trying to find a new job, but I made an announcement in that episode about my course Fearless Careers, and this is my group coaching program where I take on like a limited number of people. Usually they're within science, tech and engineering, or wanting to go into that area, or kind of related, so maybe construction or finance or something. And we work together and we go through, basically it's quite a transformational experience, really. You go from that confused feeling of feeling maybe trapped or not knowing where you want to go in your career, to feeling clear and confident and knowing what it is that you want, and then creating a plan and actually bringing that plan into action as well, and taking tangible action towards what it is that you want. And it's a really powerful thing that I really pour my heart and soul into. So if you're interested in hearing any more about that, then just head over to my website, which is www.hayleyloren.com/coaching. But before I end the episode, I do want to just recommend a couple of other episodes to you. So obviously, there's last week's episode. So if you're thinking about a career change or a job change, I actually spoke about 5 mistakes that people make when doing that. So it's important to know what not to do as well. So that's episode 31. And there's also episode 18, and I think this one will be quite useful for you, which is how to grow confidence through challenges. And, if we're talking about building that confidence, feeling better in yourself, then that's a really good episode to go back to. But thank you so much for joining me. I will speak to you next time.